You know, going into this game, it felt like McBride was going to be a key in how we defended him. We've played him several times in the past in scrimmages, in even prior to me being here. So really had a lot of respect. Sam Patterson on their staff and I've been together for a few years, and he does their offense, and Coach Springman does a good job, but they had a pretty tough one in regards to having an injury and didn't have their full team, and I know what that feels like. So I think our ability to guard in the middle of the floor and to do it consistently was the difference. I mean, we held McBride of 2 of 14 from the field, 1 for 6. He has 2 assists and 4 turnovers. And then, you know, Darius Robinson had been good for them, and he was 2 for 9 from 3 and 3 for 11. I just thought our ability to guard those guys over the course of the game really showed a lot of growth in that area. Elijah was great on the ball. Christian was great on the ball. When KO got in there, we just played better on that end, which I felt like led to those early baskets in transition that opened the game up. We started great. I was thrilled with that, but had a lull. And, man, Fett was unbelievable tonight. Just his composure, his aggressiveness, his 5 assists, 1 turnover, his floor game. I just thought he was tremendous and, you know, really was solid in every area. And one underrated part of it was his ability to hedge those ball screens and get McBride on his heels early really caused them some problems. And Fett was all over the place. Just a tremendous game for him and for us.
At this point, I feel like we're asking about Chance every game, but he keeps doing this. But what does him doing what he's doing right now, being so efficient in doing it, do for you guys long term? Where you don't have JT, Darian doesn't have to be the scorer guy. You have Chance that can kind of do it too.
No, Chance is remarkable. I said this to the team in there. I was like, you just don't ever want to take it for granted, honestly, because he's coming off screens, and we all know he can shoot, but my favorite part is he's got 5 assists and 1 turnover. I mean, that's where he's really put his imprint to me on our team, is he's making the right play when they do put 2 people on him. And then he's not over-dribbling and trying to take hard twos. He's kind of staying in rhythm. And tonight he got a couple of baskets in transition off defense, and he got a couple of baskets off cutting to the basket. And I just think those kind of attacks really open up the game for everybody, and it's his feel and understanding. We've got to improve defensively with him just so we can keep him out of foul trouble and he can keep being physical without fouling. But, man, has he been, you know, really unbelievable offensively.
JT out, Fetty's obviously playing a lot more. What does that change schematically for you guys, because they are 2 very different body types, prototypes, and what they're able to kind of do?
Yeah, I mean, I've said that, you know, quite a bit. I think an underrated part of JT's games, he can make an open 3, and he's good at passing out of the post. And so I think there's some similarities there with he and D5, just in regards to, like, you can use some of the schemes similar, and then, you know, maybe move Darian to the wing a little bit more, and instead of playing with 4 guards, and that lineup's something we need to look at. We just haven't been able to practice it. We're going to have to do it on the fly a little bit. But I think what it does is it just gives us the confidence that in Big 12 play, regardless of who we play, we've got something that we can go to offensively. And then I know we're tremendously better defensively when Fette's out there. I mean, it's proven. It's kind of statistically we're better at shot blocking. His length, his athleticism, and his ball screen coverage defense is really good. So we need to find a way to get that line up.
It's not new for you guys, but you're kind of having this flow of your team looks different from November to where we are now. It's going to look different when Big 12 play comes. Is that a concern for you that you're going to have to kind of rework things when JT is back, or is it just kind of you feel like you're confident everybody can just kind of plug and play and go from there?
Well, I'm confident in the heart of this team right now, and everybody really feels confident in regards to, like, this is how we need to play together. I think there's a real, you all know this, sometimes there's resistance to, like, I want to prove that I can do something. So it's like, how do you get to the next action and trust your teammates to make the right play and not feel like you have to do it? And we had times, even tonight, a few times where we tried to over dribble it, and it's just like, hey, just pass to your teammate who's open and get to the next action. And that's where I think our ownership to this will continue to grow, and that's what gives me hope that we can do it even, mid-season.
Coach Kerwin had quite a few open looks. He didn't shoot it exactly well, but over the last few weeks, it seems like he kind of got a little bit out of the rhythm and not as much involved in the offense. How was he able to get, those looks tonight?
Well, I wish he would have shoot it more. I mean, I wish I felt like he turned down a few of them and just shoot it the first time when you're open. And I think it's the truth. I'm not making excuses for him, but he got really sick in New York, and he got to the bottom. He just was really sick, and I think he's just now getting back into that where he feels like he can go compete. And Kerwin's an offensive-minded player, but I thought his defense on the ball was good. We just need a few more possessions where he can get out there and he's not thinking and he's competing. And I don't mean that like he doesn't need to think, because you got to do both, but he's best when he's out there moving and guarding and not having to wait to see what he should know. Just compete, and I think he's getting close to that. I mean, we saw glimpses of it tonight, but I do think he's got to err on the side of shooting it when he's open, and sometimes he's trying to figure out maybe what the right play is, and the right play to me is shoot.
Coach, you see 6 for 28 from the field for them in the first half, 3 for 16 from 3. I guess you mentioned the lull that kind of happened there after the hot start. I guess what changed? Because, I mean, it looked like it started clicking for y'all. I mean, offensively, but then also defensively, just really a big shift after that kind of lull like you talked about.
I thought Christian Anderson on the ball gave us a good lift. I thought his activity, he showed some growth tonight in his ability to guard the ball, and that was good. Our rotations were better. Our communication on their actions were better. I thought our staff did an awesome job of preparing our guys for what we were going to see, and we saw everything. And then it got to the end, and it was just like, can you guard 0 one-on-one? I mean, can we guard the ball one-on-one? And that's where we didn't play as well as we needed to. We gave guys their strengths at times, and, give JoJo more credit. I mean, I thought they just put him in space and said, go get a basket, and he did. And I think he maybe, scored at will there for a stretch. And that's where KO and those guys that got a chance to guard him have got to do a better job of putting him where we want him and making the shot more difficult the way we want it to be shot. And thought he got to a spot a few times and did things that we had on the scouting report we didn't want him to do.
So your mindset heading into tonight's game after the loss to A&M was to embrace the flaws, adjust your mindset, and just welcome the challenge to addressing those flaws with open arms. How did you see that work you kind of put in that off time translate into tonight's win?
I think the biggest person that I saw the biggest jump in that regard, and it's not like he did anything spectacular offensively, but Elijah Hawkins really owned that challenge of being a better defender and doing it without fouling. He got 2 fouls in that first half, and then he got that third one, but then I thought he really settled in, and, man, he improved, and he made some good passes in the second half, and I saw a lot of growth there, which gave me a lot of confidence in our ability to do that over the course of the Big 12 play and against Lamar. I mean, Lamar's going to be really good, man. They've got a great team, and they're playing great. So we've got a big one before we hit that, but definitely Elijah Hawkins, I thought, embraced it, and Christian Anderson was great too on the ball. Those two guys really made a difference.
Does it seem to you that you're most effective offensively when you run through Darian Williams? I mean, you're looking at 9 assists tonight, and it looked like whenever he was dealing, that's when you got cooking offensive.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my challenge to the staff, was like, how do we get Darian Williams in anything we can in the middle of the floor? I mean, because, we can put him in those dribble down actions where he's playing out of the post, and he's shown he can pass and score out of that. But I'll tell you, his improvement in playing off ball screens in the middle of the floor and reading it and getting to the next action, and he can make a 15-footer. I mean, he can score that. He can get fouled. And yeah, I completely agree with you. When we're playing through him because of the guys that can shoot that are playing on the floor, and I thought Chance is cutting to the basket and KO cutting to the basket, like those are some good plays that we need to continue to grow with. And his floor game, he had those 2 turnovers driving to the basket and falling down. It wasn't in ball screens. It wasn't in reads. It was just like being aggressive and trying to make a play and getting a little over his skis on it and, not being on balance. But the rest of the time, man, he was tremendous. He just makes the right play. His improvement in that area and his his work, how hard he's worked at that really has changed our team, and that's a tough. And that's what makes me confident when we get JT back that we can put him in more of those when he's playing at the wing, because we have it designed that way. And it's good to see him continue to grow and make such great decisions with the basketball.
And you talk about getting to the next action quite a bit. So whenever you run an action, is there automatically a series of actions that follows upon that if you don't score off of the first action?
Yeah, there's some personnel things that we got better at. I thought one that was great tonight was that we haven't gotten was Fett driving it on a we call it a get, but driving it, and Christian Anderson hadn't done it yet, and he back cut and got a layup out of it, and we just haven't seen that from him. He's been coming off all these ball screens. We've been challenging these guys when they overplay it. How you get to the next action is not keep moving toward the ball. It's like maybe it's a great basket cut, and we haven't been a great cutting team up to this point. And I thought tonight the next action required us to flatten them out, widen them out, and we did that, and it allowed these guys to create more space for each other and chance ability to play in those space. There's a reason why he goes 8 for 9 from the field, is because we got more opportunities in space for him, and we got to the next action. It wasn't just one, but give Fett credit. 5 assists, 1 turnover, 4-2, 5-1, 9-2. I mean, other than, I think we had 8 turnovers in the first 10 minutes of the game, maybe something like that, and we only had 2 for the last 25 minutes. I mean, that showed our growth of getting to the next action. We missed some shots that I think we'll make, and I got confidence that we will. I mean, one possession we got 4 offensive rebounds, I think, maybe, and didn't get it to go, and one time we did. So it's just keep playing and keep trying to play the right way, and we've got enough offensive talent, it'll take care of itself. Thank y'all.